Soon I bought them. Like we were working. I had at the studio at my mother's house in the back. At a back house at my mother's house with the studio out back there. Next stayed in there. Found some coffee brown stayed in there and Jaheim. And you want to talk about a wild house? My God, I mean, listen to the lyrics on Too Close. That'll tell you, like, just with like what what was going on and RL is just out of his mind, He's a wild dude. Well, he was to be talking crazy like that on a record. I remember when he even said it to me. I was like, "Nah, you can't be serious." He's like, "Nah, yeah, I'm telling you, you know what I'm talking about, right?" I said, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. You wild, But we laid it down, we did it, and I was just like, "Okay, cool, let's go." And it ended up being dope, and it came together. But when he was explaining it to me from the door, I just was like, "Yo, dude, like you just don't stop, man."
That's crazy. So as I said earlier, this was your first Billboard #1. So what was the impact on your career at this point?
I mean, yeah, like, cause that was the beginning of the Von Mill right there. That's when I transitioned from Illtown Records. I had actually left Naughty by Nature at that point, and then like I said, we fell out, and then I had left the group, and then I was focusing on and doing next. So yeah, it meant a lot because like I said, I wasn't doing Naughty by Nature no more. So I was just like, I this gotta work. And I gotta focus on this and make sure it works. So we were in it every day too, working on records. We had made so many different records. We were working every day, all day. Like I said, because the studio was right there, they lived there. So the writers would just come in, next would be there. I'll come over there in the morning and they'll already be up making beats, starting and recording stuff and doing stuff. Like we went hard, man. Like for a few years straight.
So before we speak about Divine Mill, right? As you stated earlier, you had left Naughty by Nature. What would you say is the biggest misconception as to why you left Naughty by Nature at that point?
Well, I mean, it was just, like just a bumping of heads. Like me and Tresh just bumping heads at that point.
Okay,
So I
fair
stepped
enough.
away the first time and then I came back. And then we worked on some stuff. That's when we made Penetration because we had the Naughty record with Penetration with Next. We did stuff within the mix while they were, when I did come back. And then the vibe just still wasn't right because it just felt, it just didn't still feel right. So I just was done with it. And also too, on top of that too, because I was running around doing stuff and I felt like I had to focus on maybe my next part of my life and in my career and to be focusing on trying to get Devon Mill to turn in what it was. I just had 2 kids back to back. And I just was just like, man, I'm tired of going on the road. I'm just done with it. And I just stayed home and just focused on production.
And of course, Divine Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what I mean when I say production.
Okay.
On Devon Mill and production. And that's when I put together all of the next stuff, all of the Jaheim stuff, Coffee Brown and all that. Yeah.
So Divine Mill being your own label, talk to us about some of the challenges starting that label.
Yeah, man. I mean, I put all my eggs in one basket with it and just said it got to work. And like I said, I mean, we were so focused. I was so focused every day, all day. I would go there every day, and not even like it was a job. It was a job to me. I mean, I love, making music ain't a job. It's a hobby, and it's what we love to do. So we just have fun doing it. So it's not, necessarily a job, but my mind state at that point was, it's like, this is my job. Like, and it's not even 9 to 5. It's 24-hour job.
Now, of course, you did R&B music prior to this. Like, I played the John A record that was in '93.
Yeah.
But then Divine Mill appeared to be predominantly R&B. What was the reason for that? Why did you not have any hip hop acts on the Divine Milk? Or maybe you did. I just don't know.
I did, they just never came, they just never, materialized. But I had
Okay.
hip hop artists, yeah. I had hip hop artists. I was doing all kinds of music. But I was the majority of it, yeah, I was focusing on more on R&B.
Was the
Because
what
I
was
like well, it's the same thing like when I did and when I got into genre. It's just like it's more I gravitate more to stuff that's a lot more musical.
mm.
A lot more musical. And I grew up and always into R&B. So, you know, that's I just I went back to what I felt like was my strongest suit.